Park, Sherwood Hill Park. My name is Jackie Dupont, and I chair the South End Neighborhood Association. I live in the South End. I'm excited that you all are here. I think that what we're going to do is we're going to go around and do introductions first, and then Steve's going to kick us off with some background and an overview, and looking at coverage, and we'll move into the discussion part. So for now, who would like to start us off with introductions?
Sister Angela, Sister of St. Joseph.
Sister Doreen.
Sister of St. Joseph.
Scott McAdoo, South End resident.
I'm not asleep.
Dale LaHoo, resident. Mark Cunningham, live here.
Hannah Height, not South End resident.
Chris Moody, South End resident, skateboarder and rock climber.
Ralph Merrill, South End resident, county member of the Senate.
Rebecca Swain, former Waterville resident.
Jennifer Christian, I live in Canaan and I work in Waterville as a grant manager.
I'm Matt Skane, I'm the Waterville Parks and Recreation Director.
Catherine Kelly, do I still live in South End? I live on Elm Street now, technically, but I don't have stuff in South End, it's a long time. I'm associated with the Second Baptist Church.
Fran Mullen, I work with Healthy Northern Kennebec, and I am very excited about a project called Healthy Waterville.
Steve Stoll from the South End Teen Center.
I'm Heather Merrill. I live in the South End. I was involved in the original skate park at Green Street Park. My husband and I and a group of our friends actually went around to every single house in the South End and got petitions signed and took it to city council in order to get this skate park first.
Irving Gilbert, South End resident since November, and man of humble opinions.
Yeah.
Victor Esposito, I live in Oakland, I teach at Bassboro Community School, and I work for Jobs Community Rapids. Met David last year, and I have numbers of kids at BMX rides, skateboarders, and lots of other people.
I'm Paul Goshen, South End resident from Hathaway Center. Wearing two hats.
I'm Ann Beveridge, I'm the city planner, and I was a member of the 2001 skate park.
I'm Ann Palmer, and I was that too.
I'm Ellen Wells, I am community wellness at the hospital and enthusiast for all things parks and bicycle races.
I'm Laura Howell. I also work at Inland Hospital, and I'm a Waterville resident.
And Bill Maypower, I wish I was a South End.
We've got a house for you.
And a house.
And I'm Dave Dutel, the project manager of Green Street Park. So now we'll transition into just a little bit of the history of the park. If Dave would be so kind to join us.
So it was a long time ago. The first committee started in 2001. Mike Levenseller from Dead River recruited Ann Palmer, who had just raised the funds for the playground equipment at North Street Park. He realized that she'd done such a great job of fundraising for that project that he got her involved in the skate park. And she was a big fan of the South End, so forever. She's been a long time supporter of the neighborhood. So the committee, the initial committee, besides Ann and Mike and the Parks and Recreation Director back then, Jim Toner,
Bill Lonnie.
Anyway,
I think he did the skate park.
it was a long time ago. But the committee looked at 6 different sites and chose this. Green Street Park is the site for the skate park. There was a public meeting in 2002, and there was a lot of support, but there was also some opposition to having the park there. So the council went back and forth. They voted initially to site the skate park there, then they voted that the committee should look elsewhere, and then finally decided that this was the right location for the park. And then in 2008, Ann raised more money to replace something. I did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
So initially,
I was here then.
If you say so, I did.
Initially, our goal was to raise $150,000 for the first skate park, and some of it was in kind. There was concrete work that was donated. And
North Street raised $185,000.
Yeah,
And we used some leftovers for some other things.
like the North Street.
Yeah, I have probably done right now.
And then just kind of a brief update of that.
Flash forward.
Yes, flash forward to 2012. Yeah,
Yeah.
October 2012. I saw that the skate park was in dire need of repair, and skating is my passion, so I took the initiative to start up the Skate Park Association of Waterville. And a few years down the road, got Jackie and Ann and Jennifer and Matt and everyone all together, and we were finally able to get a concrete plan and change the name from Skate Park Association of Waterville to Friends of Green Street, and this is what you're looking at now.
Yeah, our first kind of launch into revitalizing the park as a whole, like inclusive of the skate park, but as well as other elements of the park. So that's why we're here today, to brainstorm ideas, get feedback, talk about the issues, and we really just see and then prioritize and figure out where we want to start, come up with a game plan. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Bill.
We're going to do three things this evening. The first is we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming for 5 or 10 minutes. We're just going to collect ideas, get them up on the board. So any idea that you have for the Green Street Park, whether it's a particular activity or if you have a big vision, whatever that is. Something like I wanted to make sure that it is inviting for senior citizens and young children. Or it could be something, I want to make sure there's tables there for chess. All right, so big picture and then small picture in terms of activities. We want ideas. We'll do that for about 10 minutes. We'll just get ideas up. And then we'll spend the bulk of our time with the ideas that we threw out here, kind of talking about them a little more. And I'm going to ask, we'll try to remember who put up an idea and ask you to kind of flesh it out a little bit. And it'll give us all of a chance to talk about it. We can add to it. We can comment about it. And we had a brief meeting the other week. It was just a couple days ago. And someone was saying, well, we should do something about the skate park. And the next thing you know, people were saying, well, we should combine this with it and that with it. So that's what we're kind of looking for in that discussion. Kind of flesh out those ideas a little bit more. After we do that, we'll kind of revise our list if we need to, and we'll post them up on the back here on that. We'll just tape them up. And then we're going to ask you to vote. And in true democratic fashion, you get 3 votes. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and we always, we just keep on voting and voting. I think you could say the same for Chicago. So you'll get 3 votes, you get little tags, and you can vote whatever you want. You want to put all 3 on one particular item, spread them around, it's up to you. And then the last thing we'll do is, after we'll count them and try to give you an idea of where the consensus was, as it were. And then on the big picture ideas, kind of like really big picture ideas, we're not going to vote for those, but we'll just do, with the tag, what we'll do is we'll take a voice vote for those. Just to see, so you get a chance to vote as many times as you want. So we're just going to try to get sense on those really broad visioning type of things where most of us are at, because some of them might congeal together and fit together, and we'll try to find that out. Does anybody have any questions on that? So 3 things. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to spend some time discussing those ideas, and then we'll vote to see where the priorities are for all the items that we threw up there.
I just forgot to ask you about writing ideas down. Do each of us write down the same idea?
Oh,
No, we don't want that to happen, right?
No, you can do that. You can watch each other if he's writing and then you stop.
Okay.
You know, if we do duplicates, that's fine. I'm sure we're going to have nuanced things too, so on that. And the big picture ones we're going to save. So big picture, you're going to put it on the yellow paper, and if it's specific ideas, we'll do it on there. Does that make sense? Are we ready to rock and roll? All right. Any ideas?
I'd like to,
Go right ahead.
Let the lady go first.
I'd like to have durable benches.
Durable benches.
Durable? Durable. Something that somebody's not gonna wreck tomorrow.
And today, in this session, we're just going to list them down. So, I'm sorry.
Benches.
Irving Gilbert, I'm a figure skater and I want an ice rink.
An ice rink on that there.
I'll teach skating.
Yeah, for ice skating.
I'll teach figure skating.
Jackie, get this gentleman's name.
I'm not a gentleman.
Better lighting, no matter what we do. I bring my kids sledding there, and I don't get out of work until 4, so it's dark by the time I get out of
So
work.
better like park-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash cans and more trees.
More trees and trash cans. Trash cans, just separate those out.
Not baby trees either. Baby trees that are halfway grown already.
Big trees.
Repairing the fitness trail that's there and also putting markers to let people know how far they come, that way they can track their progress.
Oh, all right. Repairing the thing and mileage marker. That's a great, yeah.
I think they should move the farmer's market down there. Bring people in from the south end.
Let's get that one. With the
Have a
farmer's
green
market. Yeah.
Make parking so much better on Thursday.
Water fountain. Water fountain.
Walking signs.
Yes.
Can we get a vert park?
Say that again?
Can we get a vert park, the skate park portion, like a vert park?
Explain.
Yep, I know, yeah, I know.
You know, wait, all right.
I know. It's more of a street course.
Why don't we explain it, so, because somebody.
Well, it's like well, not necessarily a half pipe, because those are a pain in the butt, but like quarter pipes and stuff like that, more like the bigger jumps.
Transition.
Transitional.
Yeah, right now it's mostly like street stuff, like grinding, and there's a little fun
Yeah, it's all
box.
plaza style.
Yeah,
So
which is
you don't have
fun,
any- It doesn't have any pools and stuff in it.
but,
very much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome signs.
Oh, signage, particularly welcome signs. Welcome signs, do better signage. Just great, great. Yes.
A baseball diamond?
A baseball diamond. Yeah.
Maintaining the current disc golf baskets that are there and maybe adding more.
The basketball,
The disc golf baskets.
the disc golf.
There's disc golf?
Maintenance of the
Yeah,
basket.
there's two of them.
I'd like to save the sliding hill.
Save the slide.
It's one of the few places in Waterville.
Yeah, in other words, if we, as we want, don't dig into that hill, dig into the hill where the trees are.
Oh, yeah, no, most definitely.
Right.
All right, that's a big other, it's the Sliding Hill, Quarry Park, and Covey would be the 3 places, right?
But people don't usually, some
They're
people
too
go to
far
Quarry
away.
Road, but a lot of people either go to Colby or they go
Or
here.
or South End.
And like Paul said, when you go to Colby, you have that thing of go where you may go in the street.
A lot of South End kids can't travel.
Can't travel.
Can't travel.
That's good. Once you put, South End Park is convenient. Proximity. Do we have other hands? Yeah.
What about a tetherball?
A tetherball. All right. Tetherball. Yep.
On the walkways, the ones at the foot of the hill need to be raised because there's drainage issues there and it gets very wet.
All right.
And then on that corner coming down the hill that goes into the bushes, that needs to be reworked somehow, either by taking out the bushes or somehow fixing that corner coming down the hill.
Yeah, that was designed for.
Yeah, walkways and drainage.
I know, but it's in the bushes,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
inside
safe.
of the room, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
A trail that connects it to the island park that will be built on the island.
Great idea. Trail.
Oh, yeah.
Let's put that both on the big picture and the specific trails that connect. Can we just say another big picture one, trails in general, connectivity of, because there's a lot of trail stuff going on, and good
There's a
stuff.
lot of stuff going on.
Let's make sure it all, I'm sorry.
It's stairs going up the sliding hill.
Stairs. Yeah.
Once we get the lighting in, let's put some closed circuit
Closed circuit TV, security.
monitor, you know.
Yeah.
What about chain link fence at the top? Doesn't look very inviting to me.
half is gone.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason for it is.
Chain link fence.
Maybe
The
remove
people that decide.
Removing or
Putting
Something
a little more.
As an ongoing thing that we probably have no control over in this situation, the snow needs to be removed from the top of the hill to make it more inviting to bring families in.
It's
And
a
so then they would have a better place to park at the top of the hill.
move the snow over the sidewalk.
Maybe inviting some members of the flow community to have some functions there.
Say that.
Members of the flow community to have some functions there. I know quite a few members in the area that would be interested in that.
And what's a flow community?
Pool hoopers, point spinners, staff spinners. I know a lot of people in the area, and it's a very big growing activity in Maine right now. There's not a lot of places that are very welcome to it at this point. And having a place where people could actually be invited to come to functions would bring a lot of people in the Waterville, actually. I know quite a few people who live down in the Portland area that would travel to Waterville. Yeah.
How about a little drop-off area at the top of the hill where cars can pull in and drop?
Drop off here at the top for the sled. And maybe just attention, but they're not a big picture, just attention to
There's
the
a
whole
big flat up
interface
there,
there.
right off the corner.
Parking and use, yeah.
You open up a little parking spot right there. Two or three cars.
Really good idea.
Yeah.
We have a rugby team that comes down there every week in the summer. Maybe we can lay out a rugby marking field and invite other teams and get turned into a tournament type area.
Rugby field, a field that could be used for rugby, but also something else.
Yeah, like keep the space big enough for the rugby team.
I'd like to maintain the green space so that it's not an overcrowded park and it's all clustering. So that it still is a park where you can go throw a football. So you can go throw
Undesignated green.
Right. I mean, I don't want it to be so cluttery that you can't do anything there.
Yeah. Are you getting after the big picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not too cluttery.
All right, not too, yeah. No, that's important, yeah.
Maybe add some educational aspects to the trails, maybe some birdhouses and some signs that have some information about local wildlife. That way we can kind of give that aspect to it as well, so it's not just a place for people who are more sports oriented, but also people who are
So interpretive nature, or some sort of
Maybe
connection.
about like some signage about local fauna and flora.
That might help if we connect to the island park too. Could be a nice connection. There was someone had
A gazebo or something like that. Get it out of the shade, so my kids can play and I can sit in the shade.
Yeah, somebody's in the shade.
Especially since the trees, yeah.
Yeah.
We're missing on it.
Maybe an amphitheater, a small amphitheater built into the hill for
Concerts or something, amphitheater or something. That's right.
Plans for that on Front Street.
Yeah. Anyone else?
What about, I don't know what they're called, like scoop stations?
Oh, for like
Yeah, the supply bag.
I don't know what they're called, but
Yeah, they're-
when you walk your dog.
Pet
Yeah.
stations.
Pet stations or something where they have the bags.
Yeah, because I mean, you go walk.
That's where a water fountain would come in, because you can have a water fountain for humans and a spigot for dogs.
Yeah, that connects with what you were saying too about trash. Did you
Yeah.
say? Yeah, trash thing that connects. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that the skate park will be inclusive to all different forms of skating, skateboarders, rollerbladers, scooters, bikers.
All right, so a
Making
skate
sure
park,
like
it
it has
has.
enough to it that it can be accessible to everyone. It's not just for one certain.
All right, so a skate park, I'll let you.
I got a big picture one.
Yeah.
A plan for helping maintain the park better, more than what the city can do as far as.
When we get to the next stage, you're gonna have to help flush that out. A big plan for long-term maintenance.
Exactly, for making it,
That's
keeping it
what,
clean, keeping it.
Yeah.
I would think that that's what the Friends of Main Street would end up setting up the funding.
And to fund it.
Yeah,
Not only
No,
to
an
fund it.
endowment to fund it, so
An
we don't have to
endowment.
rely on the city funding to fund it.
That's a smart idea. Smart idea. Anyone else?
Better playscape for Green Street.
Better
Playscape for the kids on Green Street.
So like slides and swings. All right,
And upgrade the equipment.
Group playgrounds, for all ages is there.
Just to build on the park bench idea, now we have one that's actually like embedded in the ground, that way it can be removed. Because I know that there was a problem with that, some benches being moved before.
Secured.
Actually secured.
And I don't know if we want to build that in with the park benches or not, but I'm more interested in a picnic area, or resting area, but we have a skate park, so that's kind of feasible. So I
And
would
my-
say, I don't know if you want a picnic table, but some way
area
to have a
that's
picnic.
Street.
Something with Heather's kind of the same thing too, like in the park, a picnic area. Yeah.
And to follow up on all these benches and all that one, like anti-graffiti, you know, they can be sealed now so that they can't be graffiti.
And we could also, if we're gonna have a endowment type fund, we could also put a sign that would say reward for adjournment vandalism.
I was thinking along with like the picnic idea, we used to have barbecue pits down, or barbecue grills down at the boat launch. That
Yeah.
might be-
Yeah, but they have one on Orchard Street.
Yeah, that's right. Why don't we do this? Well, let's take the names that we have, we'll take them up here, and then we can, are we about exhausted just going through, and we can go back and start fleshing out some of these ideas and expanding on them a bit more?
What was that idea, what is it called, fire pit? Fire,
Oh, yeah, fire pit.
A fire pit?
Grilling pit.
Built into the.
I have one more with the graffiti thing. Like in Portland, they have like a graffiti day where the kids can come in and like once a year they get to like re-tag like a couple of walls. There's spots for that. We can do that with the actual like skate park, like the quarter pipes or whatever goes into the skate park and actually have it like facilitated and stuff.
Yeah, we
like
could
that.
build a cement wall though, because
Yeah, just so the kids have an appropriate outlet because they're gonna do it
we're
anyway.
gonna do it anyway, but if we give them a wall that can be repainted.
Yeah, exactly. And then they can re-tag it and all that kind of stuff.
Have you been down there recently, like before the snow fell?
No.
Actually, at the end of the last school year, there was intentional patchwork done by the
All right, let's start, we'll use the rest of our time now kind of like fleshing out. So if you threw something out there for an idea, let's kind of speak a little bit more on it and expand it a little bit more. You want to start?
Can I just ask you a question before we start that? Like,
Sure.
Originally, you know, they wanted to, you know, get us a skate park, and now we've got all these other, like, dreams and wish lists and stuff. But the skate park, is it still the first thing that we're concerned about?
Yeah, first and foremost, the skate park is the main thing.
Yeah.
That's
what started.
Exactly, yeah. The original concept was actually going to be much bigger with the skate park area, but then other people started chiming in, so that's when I got an idea to kind of reduce that size of the skate park to include other aspects for the park, such as some of the ideas this year.
What are the current plans or layouts to increase the park or change
Yeah, we have
the skating area?
Yeah, we have a couple printouts on the table right there that can.
Dave, you want to talk about that a little bit more and just get that?
Yeah.
Is the skate park actually on the list there?
We just kind of assume.
I said something on
Options.
Right, so essentially, probably kind of hard to see, but essentially, these are kind of the rough ideas of the skate park. Really focusing on the aesthetics instead of just gray concrete, you know, an eyesore. We're going to have some landscaping done within the park, objects placed, so it really enhances, again, the aesthetics of it. A lot of these features, I'd love to name to you, it probably sound like gibberish if I did. But everything that's chosen was chosen specifically for the park in order to catch the residents' eyes, to really be a drawing for the Green Street Park. Everything will be made of concrete.
Will those items, do you have an idea that it should attract a lot of different users?
Yeah, and that's
A lot
what.
of versatility.
Exactly, yeah, we have that both here. It's not the final outcome, but it's just a rough idea of what we want there. Obviously, we want some more input. To get some.
Have the vert,
Yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah, and that will be here too, because I'd love to build a park that's actually big instead of small like it is now. Just like,
What is it size-wise compared to the new one they just built in Augusta? Is it?
It'll be bigger.
Okay, because I know a ton of people that go to Augusta, like I go there just for the skate
Yeah,
park.
same here. I love Augustus
Yeah,
Park.
it's
but
so good.
Essentially, the plan is this is going to be the world-class skate park. It's going to be the best skate park in Maine, and it's going to attract a lot of people. It's going to be, because now there's a way to loop from Portland Skate Park to Waterville Skate Park to Bangor Skate Park, and you can kind of do that all along 95. So I know they have a wine trail in Maine, so you can go along different places to try different wines. Same concept, go to different skate parks. And just like with any other sport, different skate parks, they're different challenges. It's kind of like, it's a bad reference, but it's kind of like a basketball court. You know, you have only a half a court for basketball. You know, it has the hoop, but it's not being utilized the way it should, a full court would. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. Right now we're working with a half court. What we want is a full court.
Will everything be permanent?
Yes, everything will be permanent. The company we're working with, you're right, yeah. The company we're working with has at least a 15-year warranty. They're guaranteed to last at least 15 years, but with keeping up with the maintenance, they'll last a lot longer. Concrete, I'm sure you know, lasts longer than wood or any of the other stuff that's at the skate park currently.
So that, oh, sorry, I was gonna say that proposal doubles what's there currently? That?
Oh, yeah.
Double what's there currently,
Yeah,
like
double.
in terms of size and space?
Right, yeah, double or maybe even triple depending on the size, but it's not going to be all in the middle of the field. It's going to be spread out. There's plenty of room, definitely plenty of room for the skate park design and a lot of the other things we have.
Will the design be pushed into the hill?
No, yeah, that's the main thing. We're keeping it away from the hill.
So it's going to take away from the open green area where they play the rugby then?
No, I mean, essentially, but there'll still be enough room to include all of that. If you see the blow up behind.
An idea of where?
Yeah, so we're going to keep this concrete slab here, and we're going to expand over into this area, and then just come out a little bit. So it's going to be kind of a big rectangle with a little curve on the side, and that's, yeah, it's not going to take up, you know, a lot of the field. I definitely like the fact that there's a lot of open space, and we want to keep that for a lot of the other ideas that we have.
Maybe you could get.
Yeah, right here.
The
roundabout that's at the end of the
Somebody,
Green Street
one
Park,
person in
is that part of the Green Street Park?
It is.
It is, okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
if we want to do a canopy or a thing.
Gazebo type thing, that might be a good spot for it, right?
Yeah, maybe
No,
that's,
but it's true, it usually works.
yeah, absolutely, and that's definitely an idea we keep in mind for doing that.
So, sorry, we were talking a little bit about this roundabout being part of Green Street Park. I know I missed what the great idea was. Sorry.
I think someone said about a basketball hoop there.
Or a gazebo?
Oh,
Gazebo, that'd be a
yeah.
great place for a gazebo.
Well, if we put a basketball hoop there, then we're gonna run into money with the fence.
Right, so.
Well, and we have, the South End has a basketball.
Yes.
Grove,
Yeah.
Grove Street has a basketball court in the south
basketball
end.
court in.
And, yeah, easily.
Yeah, I heard somebody mention baseball field. There used to be a baseball field in that park, and they took it out because we have enough in the south end already.
That's right,
Let me
yeah, we
throw
have-
out
I
a
do have a question,
Go
as
for
we
it.
get going and it gets down to the money, I mean, it's in a way off picture, but maybe, like say there's not enough money for a bench, but somebody who grew up in the South End, but now they live away, they want to donate a bench.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have a program currently set in place called the Sponsor a Spot program. So any area of business can chime in on that. The benches we're going with are coming from the skate park builders. You know, they have benches there made specifically for spectators, and then obviously patrons of the park. So I think those benches were cost $500, so they're rather inexpensive, and they're set in the ground. You know, they're not movable. So that's definitely one option.
Let me throw out a question that might help connect some of this. We have the skate park, it attracts, I'm assuming, a certain demographic.
Yes.
You're not going to find my friends out there.
Not that you
Unless the ambulance is here. But if that's true, what else would attract that same demographic? What other things in the park would they be attracted to? Let me just throw that out there for conversation.
Learning trail in the woods, clean up the woods. Like talking about cleaning up the park, the trash in the woods area has been a big issue. Last year we did 3 trash cleanups in the park, and there was more trash each time. And A lot of the trash
comes
gets,
from the apartments above.
well, yeah, that, and a lot of gets thrown in the prickly bushes, and no one wants to go in there and pick it out. So really cleaning up those bushes and taking them out of there would be a step towards that.
We need to thin the woods on that hillside.
It-
take out.
Also,
For 2 reasons. One, easier cleanup. 2, better visibility of what's going on in the woods.
Right, 'cause,
If we can keep that open so it's not all covered with greenery, but yet the trees are high enough where we can see
Get rid of the
through
fire
trees,
pits that are in
we're gonna have
there.
a lot less issues in those woods.
So Dan brings up a good point that there are fire pits, that are being unofficially made in the woods. So if we had, maybe if we embrace that, people want that, if there's a safe way to do that.
Yeah, one idea that we have, one of the skate park designs actually had something similar to that. That had a certain skate park obstacle that was, it had a big back, almost like a big wall, and then it was more or less a planter. So essentially we could have that same feature, except just take out the planter and dirt stuff and then put a controlled fire pit in there. And that's one option, because you can still skate that obstacle. And it's just an option, just throwing it over there.
Jump in the fire.
Fire department would be really busy.
I was thinking that the playground would attract skateboarders, because not all skateboarders are young. Some are, in their early 20s, late 20s, and they must have small
kids.
children.
Right, yeah, even kids, even adults in their 30s, 40s still skate. I know down in North Carolina and California, I was skating.
Right, but they
with
leave
people
their children at
45
home
years old.
because there's nothing to do.
Exactly, right. And a lot of, that's a common problem. One of the bigger problems is that if they take their kids to go and skate, they might feel like the other users of the park aren't treating them properly, but it's just because there's not enough space. So I think that'll solve itself out.
You're dying to say something.
Oh, no, you were just saying, like, to attract the same kind of demographic that would be there for a skate park, I think that maintaining the disc golf courses, like I said, would definitely be a big part of that, because I know a lot of people that do participate in skating also are into disc golf. Also, the community, like I said, I personally know a few members of the community that are skateboarders and are rollerbladers, and having a place where they can just combine all the things that they're passionate about would be wonderful.
Not only am I a figure skater, and I don't like hockey, I play guitar and things like that. Not every kid in Waterville wants to skate and do all those things. I think it would be nice to have some kind of a summer program at the gazebo when it gets going, and I'll teach guitar to kids or something, stuff like that, because music's important and other kinds of things like that. I'm an outdoors person, very much so, but not every kid in Waterville wants to come and play basketball. Maybe I'd like to do something else. I'd just like to see something artistic.
How's liability handled?
Well, if it's a city park, then it's covered under the city's insurance. And people skating over fire pits and stuff.
As an older adult, I have had some concerns sometimes that is a place where young adults sometimes congregate in very large numbers just to hang out. And there may be activities going on down there that aren't appropriate for a public place. So I don't know if there's a way to increase supervision or have the police patrolling through it just more routinely or whatever.
Yeah, we're actually already implementing some ideas. We've been working with Chief Massey on the side to get more police drive-bys. We got the lights installed to kind of shed light on the illicit activities that are happening. And the plan is to get some security cameras down there so we can monitor what's going on and catch people in the act if they do. Kind of make an example of the ones that do and therefore prevent.
Spread real quick. Oh, we can't do anything in that park anymore.
Yeah.
A large part of the reason for that is because the park that's there is kind of crap. So people like me that actually I bike and I skate, but I don't go to that park. So it's all young kids. When we get a decent park that people actually want to be at, there's going to be people there that are serious about biking. And it's actually you wind up mentoring kids that are younger than you because they want to know how to do the tricks, and you're the man because you can do the backflip and they can't. And kids don't do stupid crap like that when there's people around. It's hey, what are you doing? Quit being an idiot. A lot of those kids, there's no mentoring going on because there's nothing down there to draw any kind of an older crowd. There's no older crowd there, so it's only 13-year-olds, and that's just never a good thing.
The other thing
50,
is too, is
13-year-olds.
that when we went around with the skateboard thing, people have people have it in their head that the reason why that stuff happens is because of the skateboarders. I know that's not true.
Right.
Skateboarders know that's not true, but that's the rap that comes with it. I mean, and that's what when we went around with signatures, that's what people said.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. We are trying to fight that, because that is, that's the first thing people think of, skating in the streets. I've been kicked
I
out
mean,
of
you
many
see a young
spots
kid
just
with
trying to-
baggy pants and is down by his ankles and,
Right.
and a t-shirt and a bandana on, that's what they think.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things, I know Matt can weigh up on this, is I know it's up there for signage. We need signs that say Green Street Park. Because I know, like, I've been dealing with, I get somebody coming up from that National Night Out and trying to explain to him, he's never heard of Green Street Park, trying to explain to him where it is. And even that, he comes out and he asks us, well, do you mind if I give the person who's coming up and give him your number? He says, I know he's going to want to call you to explain. I said, especially coming in from Water Street, it sits so far back, you don't even know the park is there. I mean, like I said, even that'd be something you probably do this spring or something, even just a little sign to say Green Street Park or.
I think if we blow this park up, like kind of what we're proposing to do in a way, which I'm all for, because the park is that four-letter word you just said. It's not something on the city side that we're particularly proud of. It was 4 or 5 years ago, I'll never forget the email I got from you. I was on vacation, and I remember it. And you were pissed off because it was a dump. And I said, I'm sorry, it is, but the city doesn't have the means or the ability really to do much about it. So I hate to throw my hands up in the air, but it's reality. The economy is horrible, and we don't have money to keep putting into it, and we don't have the guys to keep cleaning it up every day. So to get back to your point, Scott, I think this park has the opportunity for a new name. It's just a street. It's not as if it was named after someone else before, so we really can't change the name. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's maybe another.
Well, in your defense, Matt, too, every time you turn around, you're getting another car.
Well, that's
Nobody asked you. It's like, hey, there's another park for Matt.
And the playground idea. Playgrounds are great. I've got 2 small kids, but we do have a decent playground at Grove Street and Moore Street. Playgrounds we need.
Let's flesh out your idea here a bit more about endowment, Paul said, getting long-term maintenance and plan in place that keeps this park so it doesn't go down.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about, give us some insight or some ideas that.
The idea is that from the city's perspective, we just need help. I don't have the plan. I don't know how it's gonna. I know that this South End neighborhood is the most involved and passionate group in the whole city by far. So I think that there are people willing to help, but I haven't thought that through. I just know that I want to impress upon people that the city can't maintain the park.
You give us that sidewalk flower and we'll be happy as can be.
That's public works.
So my idea.
I threw out the volunteers that are taking care of that, it usually works. And also, if you're looking for signage, sometimes the prisoners like to do that, things like that.
Who maintains Oak Street Park?
City.
Who paid for the total resurfacing of it?
Which, the tennis courts?
No, the big field where they play soccer.
Oh, that was a little before my time, but in the city.
That was only like 2 years ago.
Resurfacing.
Yeah, they dug it all up, put all new grass in it, built it all up.
Anybody have any ideas on how long-term?
Yeah, they created new drainage, who paid for that?
That was at least 10 years ago, just to.
Public works, probably.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
It's a tough one.
Before we move on into that part of the plan, I just wanted to echo that I love the idea of an ice skating rink that is, it doesn't have to be permanent, and it's something that could be a part of the skate park, so that we're multi-purposing our equipment and making this a year-round park. So, and I'd love to have you teach.
Two befores and some tarps that can be taken down and used again.
Well, I was thinking, just elaborate on Jackie's Gorham, behind the Gorham Fire Station, we have a big area. And they, I don't know what they've done in the past few years, but they've done in the past, basically they just lay, I think the town comes in, they lay plywood down, they lay plastic, they build up like sidewalls and the same thing, then they have like Gorham Fire Department, which they're right there. But in that, while the fire department comes down with an engine, floods it, and then they let it sit overnight and freezes, and on occasionally, I think maybe once a week, the fire department will come down, go up with the hose. They just basically, they'll just pull like the trash line, a booster line, a little small hose off, and just wash off the slush that forms, and they'll do that in the evening and just let it refreeze. That way you've got nice maintained ice. It used to be, I don't think done in the past or not.
It's private property.
Oh, it's private property.
One of the things that, I mean, when teams are unsupervised, that's when they do these things like drag benches into the woods, smoke pot with ones around, tip the trash cans over and over. If you have something to entice the older group, like a walking trail, I think you're going to eliminate some of that.
Exactly, yeah, more foot traffic, older people will definitely deter a lot of that activity, especially when we thin out the woods. Then they don't have a place to retreat to, they're not gonna do that open, in public. So, that's really gonna deter a lot of that activity.
So when you're thinking of the top three things, you're gonna make sure that you have something for the older group so that they'll be down there, making sure that this stuff doesn't happen.
Right.
So we need lighting, clean up the woods area, probably maybe some cameras for security, and enough activities that will complement the skate park.
Another thing I was thinking of too, elaborate you were saying, I noticed a lot of parks are putting in like, you might get the older ones and pull-up bars, more fitness stuff where they can, like you said, a few nothing, like pull-up bars, and just maybe stuff people can do like a little bit of like, not weightlifting, but they can use their weight. I think they get stuff where, you can, like exercise equipment.
Fitness station.
A fitness station
Yeah.
that kind of matches
Which
the
I
trail.
know a lot of parks have really started to put those in, and they're a big hit. I've heard a lot of people use them.
There used to be one over at the hospital, they took it out.
I thought it was with the North End Park.
Well, I was just wondering if organized activities like walking clubs perhaps, or if they have the fitness stations, maybe there would be set times too when people can come as a group. It's proven that if you create a social network for some of those activities, then people are more likely to continue to participate.
Portland, they just had a thing on 13 News that there's a park in Portland, Daring Oaks Park has put it in. And they have, the reason why they did it, because they have a story almost that it's basically Maine, which hospital down there? Maine Medical has like a fitness group. They meet and what they do is they walk from the hospital to the park. And then they take like an hour or so, they all work out, do their thing. They walk around the park. Some will walk in the park, some use the fitness equipment, and then they all walk back. It's part of the hospital's kind of Maine Medical.
But it makes it inviting for measured miles.
Well, and with Maine General employees working in the Hathaway building, they may utilize that as well.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a big draw for a lot of the Hathaway crowd, because
Yeah, I don't want to draw the people out of that building
right there.
park.
Paul, what about making more connections between your project there and that park in the South End? Why don't you talk to us a little bit? You're part of the neighborhood.
Sure. Well, that's why I suggested a walking trail to Island Park, because Island Park would be magnificent. Somebody talked about picnic places and charcoal grills. And that's a perfect spot. It'll be a little oasis in the South End. So, unfortunately, another park.
Well, it's not unfortunate. I mean, I think it's, trails
attract people, people attract businesses,
That's right.
and businesses attract residents.
I think we have the capability with this park to really increase a lot of the tourism, a lot of, it'll boost its economy regardless of what we do, because it's new, people are they always want to try new things. And if they see that this park is actually really functional, and a lot of people are keen to use it more frequently, then there really is going to be increased foot traffic. There's going to be a lot more people willing to drive from Augusta, Portland even, to come and use all the different features of the park.
Not only that, it might actually encourage some of the younger crowd that already lives here to stay in the area. Especially if, like you said, it does bring in more foot traffic and it brings in new businesses, new employment opportunities. It could definitely.
That synergy.
another thing too, like especially during the summer, is bring the older crowd. Is now there's power down there. You can have like maybe somebody wants to come down like an acoustic act, or somebody sings, or
Concert series.
more or less something similar to kind of like
theater.
There's a lot of acoustic acts that come down. They'll probably come down and play for a couple hours. People bring their lawn chairs, come down and just enjoy.
Or amphitheater or gazebo.
But even
Some center, like-
even before that, like in the summer, then they can bring their kids down. The kids can go play. Kids can bring the skate park with the parents. Or the crowd listens to music. I said you get quite a few local artists and do that.
I got a question for the skateboarders and skaters. At the other parks, do they have programs where they're teaching the kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I myself just last summer implemented a learn to skate program. I bought 3 kids brand new equipment, rollerblades and a skateboard, and taught them myself. We had one little kid who wanted to learn how to free run, so I taught them that, and their parents were really thankful because it was a free program that I implemented.
So we could have a one Saturday or Sunday a month at that park.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
skating lessons.
Yeah, and we met 3 times a week to teach them. They loved it. I even was able to let them go home with all their equipment. So out of my pocket, I was like, yeah, I'd love to teach these little kids how to skate. And it's great because it's an independent sport, and it's something that a lot of kids find attractive because they may
It's not
not
an
be
expensive sport either.
What's that?
It's not an expensive sport.
Exactly, yeah, it is, considering you could get your kid football pads and all that equipment, and they wouldn't be as happy as happy if they had a skateboard and a bunch of their friends to do it with.
Right.
Independent sports attract a lot of kids because they can do it on their own instead of having to collaborate with a big group of people to spend it after football or basketball.
And I think you make a really good point about both you and Rob about teaching kids how to use the equipment will make it less frustrating and more likely to be used as it's supposed to be used instead of destroyed.
Right.
Say that people get.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. It's no mystery that humans do naturally fear change, and when they're learning a new sport, if they don't get it right away or don't understand what the equipment they're using is, then that's when they'll retract away from it. So we want to keep kids intrigued. We want to teach them how to use the equipment and how to stay engaged.
We years ago, we had a problem. It was in New York, in the city. It was a small park, somewhat similar to Green Street in size. And it was in a tough neighborhood. And we had some of these same issues of how to renovate it and get people there. And we literally, thank God for senior citizens, because we dragged them out and started walking trails. We had to have New York's finest escort them at first and whatever. But once people got out there and activity started, it made a big difference because it was just an accumulation of more people, more eyes on the park. Somebody said over here. And the other thing that what they did is they instituted their own park rangers. These were volunteers. They had no police power. They were just people in the neighborhood, and they would meet once a month, and they would have a party once a year. And all they did is they had a schedule, and they walked the park. And they would say hello to people, they would greet the kids. But there was always somebody there in the park. And it was just most of it, they were retired people. But it was just a great program because it started to attract. They became the grandmothers and grandfathers of a lot of, younger people. So there was, but it was just that making those connections and getting people out there. And I just offered that because if you want people to take ownership, if you want people to give money, they have to have a sense of this is my park. It doesn't belong to the city. It's my park.
Yeah, there has to be a buy-in.
That's right. Yeah. I just want to throw that out there. I'm sorry.
Southend kind of has gotten a bad reputation the past couple of years.
I don't think so. You haven't been around. I think we've gotten a better reputation.
Yeah,
When we go to city council, they listen.
Yeah. All would be developing right at the edge there if it had a bad reputation.
I hear what you're saying, that it still has.
I'm not saying it hasn't improved, I'm just saying that it does, the stigma still exists in the area.
Right, but it's better than it
Having something
was.
like that in the park would definitely help get rid of that stigma and make it more.
Yes.
You kind of nailed it when you said the ownership, especially with the kids. If we can figure out how to get the kids involved and take some ownership of it, and like through the teen center or however, but some way to get the kids to be involved, like from whatever level we can. Because if the kids have ownership of it and they feel that they'll police it themselves. Like if, like they're, like, because we never let people, like the skate park in Portland, like when they built it on Marginal Way, like we didn't let anybody demo the stuff down there. Because like we wanted a skate park. The zone closed and that was the only park down there. And it's like, if you're messing it up, then there's no skate park. But like, we were all involved in that. Like the kids were all involved in building the stuff and picking what we got and all that stuff. So if we can involve the kids somehow, like that will go a long way towards keeping it from getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's a critical part, because if we have trouble with them lighting fires and going places, if we say, all right, this is going to be the area where the teenagers convert, I'll guarantee you, you won't see a single teenager there. They'll create their own place. So you need to get them from the get-go, right? You know, in the design and whatever. Yeah.
I just had a question. When you're, see, I'm not a skateboarder. I couldn't care less about a skate park. But of all the parks in the area, that's the park that I use the most. But when you're talking about a skate park, what time of day are you talking about? Are you talking about afternoons, evenings?
I go whenever I'm not working.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, it might come as a shock, but I used to skate all the way until 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, I'd skate during the day, take a break, and then go back and skate till 3 a.m. and have a bunch of people with us. So it's not really like a certain time, but you know, obviously there is going to be like a set rule, like this park closes at this certain time or sundown, something like that. When the lights shut off, so there will be guidelines implemented in order to keep people from using the park that way.
Yeah, because North Street, all the lights automatically kick off at like 10. It wrecks my ball games all the time.
I was just going to say about ownership, this elaborate, it actually does work. Because when they built Moore Street Park, for the longest time it was dirt lava. The guy we used database, we built the park for them. Most of the kids that aren't around anymore, after they actually built Moore Street Park, you would be surprised, there'd be somebody walking by. The kids probably didn't know the guy. He was walking by, he throws the trash into the park. They would come out of the park, sir, can you please pick that up? This is our park. So, you know, from the get, you know, from right off, they instilled that this is their park. They took ownership and they maintained it. They cleaned it. Like I said, most of the kids are gone now. They've moved. But you get a few that still are in the neighborhood. They still will actually tell you if there's trash or you put trash or you put somewhere it's not supposed to. They will tell you pick that up, and it really does work. You know, you instill an ownership in it.
So along the lines with the kids, obviously there aren't too many kids here tonight, so and probably they aren't going to come to a meeting like this. So is there a way we can go to the schools or the teen center and get their input to find out what they want? Because they're the ones who are ultimately going to own it and carry it on.
Speaking on behalf of the teens, that's already happened. Dave and Jackie have met with the teens and gotten their input.
And we did send invitations out to the school.
Right, but it's, you know, it's dinner time.
That's right.
It would make sense for us to do another swing through though with the teens, because that was kind of like a, why don't you go to the park conversation that we had, and maybe presenting ideas that we're working with tonight to the teens at the teen center,
And
I don't
even the
know,
younger
during
kids,
lunch.
you know, the junior high and the whole school, maybe there's a way to do a survey or just hold a meeting or something. I'm not sure how that would play out, but I'd like to know what the kids.
You probably have to go through, you have to go to the superintendent's office or.
I would recommend is go to the park. You see kids, go talk to them. They're there already, you got a captive audience. Talk to them. They're gonna be tickled pink that an adult came up and interacted.
It might be something too that, I mean, I don't know how we would do it, like, kids want to slide, but they don't have a sled. So when we do our winter fest, you see all kinds of kids sliding, all kinds of kids, you know, using cross-country skis and snowshoes, but a lot of kids don't have, you know, sleds.
We might face the same thing with ice skating. Kids don't have ice skates.
I'll buy some.
Well, you know what some places do? You rent them, no fee. You know, there's certain days you sign up and you take your sled or sign up and take some skates and use them and bring them back.
Maybe when we open the bike shop, we can put in sleds, ice skates, and skis.
Yeah.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that my favorite sport during Jan Plan at Quick City was broom ball, and that does not require skates.
Oh my God.
You run around in your sneakers on the ice. It's hilarious. I'll teach that.
We had a couple of things on more of the, what I would call probably more passive activities in the park, picnic areas, green space, making sure there's tables and chairs. How do we integrate that with?
Why not develop the top of the hill and put some picnic tables up at the top of the hill? You know, you also want like a drop-off area, picnic tables, barbecue grill. It opens up the top of the hill.
That might be too tempting, yeah, that might be too
I
tempting,
live
somebody
right up
decides he wants to go sledding.
There's plenty of room.
Might be what?
And actually,
This
that's much
space
more
right here,
visible. That's much more visible than
This
down.
space right here can be made into a pull-off parking spot. You got a table and a picnic area can be set there.
You gotta worry about the cars speeding too, because if they have picnic tables up the top of the hill and kids are running around and cars are speeding, that's a big factor for showing have.
I know they don't speed there in the winter.
On the top of the sled hill, you couldn't put that stuff, there's not enough room.
There's also a vacant lot on Sherwin Hill too, that's owned by an association.
Can you show us where?
Well, it's, I don't know if it's on the picture, but it's about
Right there.
right here,
Oh, it's toward the bottom.
Right there.
right here.
Oh, the one that Katie kept.
The one that KB kept.
I didn't say who owned it, I
They
said
sold
someone
it.
was listed. No, they sold it.
Were you thinking of parking, Heather?
Yeah, but if it's been sold.
Is there a problem with Sherwood, is there a problem with traffic on that?
Oh, yeah.
On that hill, yeah, it's a very busy
And
road
that's
right
the
there.
side
They,
of the
they go
street
pretty
that the
fast
sidewalks
up there.
On the
Right,
side?
that's the sidewalk
Because
side.
most of the traffic comes up from Summer Street, and they all have to stop here, so they're not going terrifically fast. A few cars that come up from down by the Shaverine, you come up over the hill, maybe a little fast, but most of the traffic, and I live right there,
Yeah.
in that house with the picket fence, and most of the traffic comes up Summer Street, or it's going back down Summer Street, so they're all stopping there. So they don't get a chance to go too fast unless they come from down by the Shaverine.
Yeah, they're gonna coming up the hill.
Coming up to.
They do that, but most of the traffic is not from down the
And
road.
can you talk to us about some traffic calming that might work in that area?
Oh, trees along, are we gonna be comfortable keeping the trees?
Down in the lower part of the
Down in
park.
the park, yeah.
That's
We
what
said we
I-
haven't done much up top. And the idea, whoever's idea it was originally, tonight maybe Paul's, I'd like to look, we're gonna go look at that area a little closer.
That flat area up top.
It really makes a lot of sense to develop that into something where, you know, folks can kind of pull in.
Yeah.
I can kind of imagine how it would look, but I don't know that there's room there without, you know, looking at it maybe with an engineer.
That road is pretty wide there, that's.
Right where that fence is, you
Yeah.
get down, and it's pretty flat.
Yeah, there's right, and then the fence, and there's really no reason.
There's no reason.
We could expand the road over more, so there is actual parking with the sidewalk.
Well, it's.
We're not planning on getting rid of that paved path, right? That's gonna
We're
stay?
actually gonna improve the.
We're gonna improve the paved path.
Paved path.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Okay,
fixed up.
because that's like my favorite jump sledding.
Everybody's-
That's like the best spot there.
Let me ask this question, is there enough room here to create the more traditional passive areas in this park? Picnic areas, green space, just open areas where people could fly a kite, hang out?
Oh, yeah, with the side of the
plenty
skate
of room.
park
I
is a
launch
huge
rockets
field.
down there.
Yeah, that's a huge, huge field.
Yeah.
So as long as you put your picnic tables and your fire pit stuff all on the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
take away from the
outskirts,
center green
yeah.
space.
So there's enough room for. What about for an ice skating rink? Is
That
there,
would have to be incorporated into the.
Matt, do you want to weigh in on this a little bit?
Ice rinks are so much maintenance. Everyone says how easy they are.
Hassle.
So, I don't, unless it's a refrigerated situation, like full blown with a roof, I don't really, the city, I don't think would want to participate too much in maintaining that.
One ice, yeah.
If it's a neighborhood thing, then have at it, yeah. I think ice skating is great. Waterville doesn't have one. We're working on something now that could possibly happen.
Like I said, I know Gorms, I think after it's put together, The only thing that's tappable is the town, but the only thing the town does is, like I said, once a week, or usually on a Saturday, the fire department comes down just to clean it. Once it's, there, it's just basically putting it.
Is there a water supply there at all now?
No.
But
There
if
will
we
be
get
once we get a
water
water
fountains
fountain.
in-
We get a water fountain. You just bring a truck
There
and
is
dump the
a-
tank into it.
There is a hydrant on Green Street, there's a hydrant right on the corner, somewhere in that area. I can't remember if it's on Green Street, if it's in that area.
Oh, Water Street.
Water
When
Street.
You tap into a hydrant in the wintertime, then you're gonna have a fee because they have to come drain that hydrant.
Well, even that, you're talking, one of those trucks are 1,000-gallon trucks, that'd be more than enough to flood
Yeah.
an ice rink.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes, I
It
know.
doesn't have to be huge, anyway.
Right, on the fire, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes to actually dump the entire truck.
One idea that we initially thought was to incorporate into the skate park, and this is just a rough idea, but the space that's right here could essentially be an ice rink because we could lay down concrete there and kind of put up a concrete rectangle, more or less, and that could be filled with water. That was just one idea that we had.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's a foolish question, but in weather like this, when there's a lot of snow, I assume no skateboarding goes on. Yes? or no?
Yeah. The kids kind of clear it.
Clear.
They bring their shovels, they clear it. The same thing would happen with the ice rink. They bring the shovels, they clear it.
But there would be room to use both of them?
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other ideas pressing that they would like to speak about that we haven't covered? Yeah.
Well, it's just more of a funding idea. If you do decide to go with the gazebo, one of the things you can do is sell bricks.
Yep, Portland Skate Park did that. They sold bricks with people's names on
Yeah,
it. Contributed
yeah.
to it.
The other thing I haven't heard anybody say anything about, I don't know whether you consider this a pro or a con, but it's proximity to the soup and sandwich program, which makes it an easy place to stop and eat your lunch. You have to walk any distance to go to the soup and sandwich program.
Yep, and there could be signs put up in park porches.
Yes.
So-
And some people may think that's good, and some people may think it's bad, but I do know that people use it for that.
And they are bringing back, the retention centers is gonna come back into a deli.
Oh, right,
There's not gonna be food down there again. They'll, be business.
Yeah, because, parks can be a bonus for businesses, particularly small stores, restaurants, things like that. Any other ideas we haven't fleshed out or thrown out there? We've got a lot on the table.
Related to big trees and thinning the woods, landscaping, just in general, like a landscape plan that includes everything.
All right, so an overarching long-term landscape plan, the trees. And there's an art to this, because you want to make sure the trees are appropriate.
Well, we wanna make sure to, like you said, thin out that hill.
Yeah.
Get that cleaned up, get rid of all the shitty bushes and pine,
Well, they have
thorns.
garden clubs, there's two in Waterville, they all like to donate their services.
Garden clubs?
Yeah.
Are we does the city use an arborist at all?
Some lady does it all on her own with her own bulbs, and she changes it with her own everything.
Sorry, no, I can't, I guess this thing will.
You're not the city owner.
Well, yeah, I am, I'm de facto, I don't have the training.
There is a
I've
fellow.
learned a lot, but we hire, people who do arborist work.
There is a fellow in Waterville, his name is Leo St. Peter, who's an arborist, used to be the arborist for Augusta, and I asked him if he might volunteer sometime.
Yeah, you can go in and mark certain trees and stuff.
Yeah. And also ideas for, if we're going to put together an overall landscaping plan, it might be a first general place, a very low-cost way to start.
There's probably people out there that some of us could present to see if they would come up with different plans. We asked. Jim Toner is an arborist too, not by degree or by whatever, but by experience.
Yeah, it's definitely an idea.
I mean, there are people out there that will do things because they like to do it.
Right, yeah, all we just need to do is just reach out to them.
And I milk them all to the hill.
Yeah.
They all hide when they see me coming.
Is there anything we haven't covered that we should have covered? Any ideas that we have?
More detail and funding.
Yeah, anybody have any ideas on that? That's a tough nut to crack. Anybody have any creative ways we could?
You have to establish what, we have to establish what we want as a park, in a park. And then we have to be knowledgeable about it and be passionate about it before we go ask for funding. Like you may come and ask me for $50 and I may say, for what? Well, I don't know, we're gonna establish a park. But if you come to me and you say, Heather, I need $50 because we're gonna put benches in and the benches are $100. You know, so you have to, people wanna know what they're gonna spend their money on.
They want to
So
see a
we may
plan,
need a
phase
concept plan that shows the park and shows the ideas, landscaping, where the gazebo would be, where the skate park would be, and specific kind of renderings of skate park.
I mean, we have certain people that will donate for the to the South End. And not because they live here, not because they work here, because they used to live here and this is the way it used to be. So they'll donate because of where it, because they are where they are today because of what they started from. So, I mean, and those people will donate for certain things and, you know, you can almost depend on it.
Well, let me throw this out. Who's going to make this decision together about, or this is what it's going to be and we're going to take it out there?
Well, the Friends of Green Street Park, have you gotten yourself a mission statement yet?
Yes, we have it on our online website. I'll write that up here. It's a little complicated, but it gets you all the information you need. You know, we have a mission statement, what we're about, our goals, the programs we have, the Learn to Skate program, and then the Sponsor a Spot program, contact information, and original concept drawings of the skate park before we started with the rest of Friends of Green Street.
Have you broken the, so I would say the next step is to break these things down, what we want as importance, and then put them into phases. So now you have this is what we want to do in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and then start funding for each phase.
But at some point, you want to present all this to the council.
City council.
Because it is a city park.
Dave, can you switch markers? I have my glasses on, I bear them.
Yeah.
Please.
Here's a
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay. Dale, did you have something you wanted?
Yeah, I was just talking to Scott here, talking about maybe talking to the fire department, having a boot drive to raise some funds for the park for the kids.
So there's some grassroots.
Yeah, because the fire department will attract more people.
Yeah. So
Something along that line. I can't use the boot itself because that's how they do their MDA.
Heather's idea was right on.
Yeah, we can come up with
Develop a
something.
plan, you put it on paper, and then you.
Yeah, we could use something else other than a booth.
We can do a toll on Water Street. Set up a
Try to
toll.
raise
Yeah.
money, we should figure out what we're gonna do and what we want, the specifics, and if there are other resources to reach the goal.
The other,
Go different paths.
the other thing is that as you go toward a group and as you apply for grants, you have to have buy-in from the committee. Now, it could be that each committee member only give $1, it doesn't matter the dollar amount. But every single person on that committee has bought in to the idea, and it looks good when you go to grantors and when you go for funders, and you can say that we have 100% financial support from the committee. It doesn't matter how much it is, but everyone gave something.
Yep.
So that
After you
looks
get your
well.
committee, then you go to your local businesses that are around the park.
Right,
Get them to back you.
Yeah.
VFW's down there, the bar's down there, you get a garage down there, you get several businesses down there.
Yeah.
That you approach and you get them onto the roster of committee members or donators.
Yeah, and don't be too parochial or narrow in your vision, because people come from all over the city to go sledding. That expands our reach to faster donations.
The first you want to get is the people that are really around the park.
Well, and
If you
that's
got their
like-
back, and then, you know, you're good. If you don't want to have a company say, oh, I don't want these people in the park behind us, you know? You want the businesses behind you.
And the people that own the Shea, her nephew's a skateboarder, was for years, so, you know, Toby Parkhurst, I mean, he went on the national started. So, I mean, she may, they may donate just because of that.
Yeah.
You don't give them to donate, give them to be a name on the Friends of Green Street.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we're doing. A lot of, any business that donates, sufficient amount of money is gonna get their name, well, any business is gonna get their name put on the sign that, here's who donated, so.
Sponsors of Green Street.
Exactly.
Anything else? We're about ready, I think, to move on to some voting and setting priorities. Go ahead.
The question, would it be feasible to have a citywide mailing? Dave, would it be feasible to have a citywide mailing and ask for like $10 from everybody?
Yeah,
Even if half of them gave?
yeah, I don't see why not. That's something that, to my knowledge, is rather inexpensive considering some of the efforts that we've been putting out. So, we send out some kind of mailer to ask people for donations and tell them what the project's about. Yeah, at the very least, it gets them aware of the project, even if they don't donate.
And it's important though to keep it, like within everyone's reach, you know what I mean? Because it turns people off. If you ask for $50, you ask for 10, people.
Yeah, exactly. Keep it lower, more people.
Keep it at $5 and $10 donation levels.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to mailing, go where the people are. You do the, in the summer, you have the taste, the bite. Yeah, a lot of people there.
Yeah, if you need another meeting, another good meeting would be right after the National Night Out, because we get a lot of kids at that, and you can draw the kids into it.
Somebody mentioned selling bricks. Something like, well, this is a different kind of thing in a way, but Don Imus, the shop job, made a whole ranch for kids with cancer from selling little pieces of land, just on paper, sell a bench, 10 pieces of the bench, names, something like that would be, I think, something.
Yeah. There were gimmicks like that, that's why we have the main subdivision later.
If they're gonna change the name of the park, maybe somebody would like to have their name on the park.
Oh, yeah, like the Cross Center.
Yeah, essentially, whoever the largest donator is, will more or less get their name put on the park. Or
The largest donators of business, so you can have a corporate branding of the park.
No, it's not gonna be corporate branding, right? It's not gonna be like the Bangor Savings Bank Park, something like that. Park. Right, yeah, so it's still gonna retain its local name, but it is gonna at least say, primarily funded by so forth.
Yeah, because remember when we talked to a bunch of kids that were skateboarding down there?
And that would turn them off about coming
Yeah,
down
we're like,
the
what do you
park.
want, if they were to change the name of this to, they were like, this is our.
Yeah, exactly.
I think changing the name probably a bad idea.
We're gonna.
What's that?
I think changing the name might be a bad idea.
Yeah.
The South End knows us as the Green Street Park.
Exactly, yeah.
And it is the South End, we're trying to get the roots back to the South End.
Right, so essentially,
Rebranding, yes.
Yeah, each different part of the park, so like the skate park could be the Bangor Savings Skate Park, and that sign would be put down there, but overall, the overall park.
The skate park could be
Something,
Bangor Skating Park.
Yeah, something
Bangor
like
Savings
that,
Skate Park.
but essentially it's gonna be the Green Street Park or something else, somewhere else.
Skate park, South End Skate Park.
Yeah.
Kind of incorporates the whole thing. But I think there's a lot for funding. I think that's a whole nother meeting. I think that would be a whole nother meeting, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Like, Dave, you've done a lot. You've been out ahead. But there are things that I think I'd like to see change about your missions. You know what I mean? I think you need a little bit more help and more input from, and who are the Friends of Green Street Park? Am I one of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Well, no, I like to think that I am.
Hesitancy is not good.
Like at Quarry Road, we have a Friends of Quarry Road. It's very similar. It's a great model. Like Heather was mentioning before, there's buy-in from everybody. Jennifer is very familiar, Ellen's familiar with how that works, and they've been very successful. So to use that model, Ellen and I can help along. But anyways, the funding thing is it's a big, we need to be way more organized before we even, and I think people appreciate that.
I find I had the most success when I went after one thing at a time. Funding, or you look for in-kinds and things like that. And actually, I would guess this would be done with not a whole lot of cash.
But first you need a plan, and we don't have them. That's why we're here. This is perfect. This is the way it should evolve. This is more than what get a Cory vote. I mean, this is a real good community.
Speaking of organizing, before we vote, is there a way to kind of put like group-like things together instead of treating them all individually?
Yeah, we could do that, or we could leave it like this. It's up, we'll do whatever. If we left it like this, we would give you more balance, because there's just a lot more here. Or we could try to condense it. It's up, we'll do whatever. Anybody have any preference? We were gonna do 3 ballots per, we'll expand that to 6, so you'll have more of a chance to. We'll go, anybody?
Yeah, I think it'd be easier to have more dots.
Do our dots, all right. Yep.
On the Friends of Green Street Park, do you have a list of members?
Yeah, we do have a list of members.
Are they posted on the website?
They are not posted on the website, but they can be.
Okay. The next question is, as part of your funding, I belong to the Boy Scouts and we have Camp Bombers, up in Belgrade.
Yep.
We fund everything we do through what we call the old timers, Bombers old timers. And the way they fund that is they sell patches.
Oh.
And you have to be a member, be part of it, in order to get a patch.
Okay, yeah.
So if you design a patch or something, or a hat, or say, and this hat's gonna cost you $5 and you're a member, and that's part of your funding. And that's an annual thing that you do every year.
Yeah, that
And
can
then
definitely.
every time you purchase your hat or your patch or whatever, your name goes in the list and you're part of the old timers thing, but this would be the Green Street.
Yeah, we can, yeah, something like with a t-shirt, somewhere along those lines,
Right.
yeah, that can work.
Something simple, and then when you do a mailer, you can also do that, say, when you put it in your mailer, say, okay, we're looking at donations. Membership is $5, donation this, and $10 get you this, you know.
Yeah, little incentives.
Right.
First aid kits.
Pardon?
First aid kits.
Actually, I was thinking the same.
Kids are made of rubber.
Scraped elbows and whatever. And would you give everyone 2 strips, so you'll have 6 votes?
Is the votes to set, like, what's the priority, or?
You, it's your choice. You'll have 6 votes, so you can place them all on one.
Are we voting for what the priorities are, or what
Which you would
am I
like to
actually
see
voting
for the
for?
priorities for the park.
Okay.
So you get,
like our top
2 slips?
6.
2 slips, so you have 6 states.
Oh, okay, 6 totals, so yeah, you can vote for 6 things.
6 items, you can put them all on the same thing, or split them up. And you're voting for just the items on the white
Yeah,
paper,
and actually increasing
just
it
on the white paper, not on the yellow paper. No, that's up to you. The skate park is here. Take a minute when you come up to look at the items, because there's some duplication, but not very much.
And there's some in that weird lavender color.
Jennifer.
So if, are we doing, does everybody have,
Are we working on these?
no, just
You're
put
just
them on. Just put them on, if you vote for signage or something like that, just make sure you put your sticker in a way that we know exactly, what it's attached to, so.
Yeah, because they are.
There's a wooded area, but they chop them from corners, where like I used to sit with clients all the time in the shade. Yeah, they chop them
I don't drink coffee.
Not just because I skate, but it's good. You know, anybody that's any good when they're 17, they started at 17, whatever it is.
Is there anybody who doesn't have?
I like the negative connotation on our neighborhood. It's a good thing.
Well, I'll need to be shut up to get it.
Yeah, but I think this would be that's all
So, no, it's true, I volunteer.
two people could go all the way to
No, it's true.
Is that a given? One clear, it don't want to finish.
No, it's not a given.
8 branches of the trees are 8 feet up.
Really?
Just grass.
I'm done. There's these days.
Yeah, tables and chairs right in here.
See the sliding?
Clear this stuff.
Also stuff.
You can clear all this stuff, level this off. This could be parking, and this could be a picnic. You could be looking down on the one, you could be looking down on the skate park.
How are you? Nice to see you.
This would be a good place for a gazebo. When I first came
These guys just park.
All the trash that's coming, it's coming from his.
Where is it?
Coming over the fence. The fence here, there's a fence here, it's actually leaning because there's so much shit up against it. This thing's gonna fall over. So we gotta find a way to fence. If it's a city, then we need to get the picture of the property owners that are bought it and clean up the property. Then we can fix the fence or even make it bigger, just our cave fence, we can't see over. That'd be a sound barrier. Everyone will skate in there. It'd be harder for them to throw the trash over. If you get a 12 foot bucket. 12 foot sound barrier. That's good. Oh, no, even this could be, but even this could be opened up, take the green out of here, and make that more.
Woods is like up there.
Yeah. But I was just glad to put it up.
It's a really good ride.
Little do you know.
Right there.
I love it.
Oh, just for him.
Oh, it's okay.
There's somebody else could do it.
Oh, okay.
Start on this side.
This can be so temporary. I mean, like not permanent. Like we used to fly when I was director of the teen center, we would just like
Those are amazing. Over there, are they fantastic?
but yeah, I mean in terms of that's my
Give us a couple of minutes, we can tally them up, so we can get an idea.
Before you go, explain to me that feature of the skate park. You lost me completely. When you, that, what was it?
Oh, Bert? vert. It's just like big ramps, like quarter pipes, half pipes and stuff. It's just the bigger ramps. Because it's like, what it is now is like a street park. There's stuff that you would find just out on the street anywhere. The vert park is stuff you're not going to find out anywhere in nature.
You lost people.
Yeah, like half pipes, pools, and stuff like that. Like a pool is a vert. Half pools, super fun. And they're way less work for old guys like me. Because you can start at the top and then you get all kinds of speed going down. You don't pedal as much. It's so much easier. Yeah, probably.
I'm done.
And then we can pull in the park up to this one, and then pull this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, some part of it, but I think that's actually, because I definitely didn't read all of it.
I had no idea. Contact information.
Well, I don't know how much I can do, because basically.
8 minutes left on that.
But I need glasses to do that.
Well, no, well, first that's tally, and then
If it's enough for 3 or 4 cars.
As soon as you see trees like that, starts dropping.
Yeah, the closer
That would be,
actually they do.
Terrific.
Well, instead of filling in, dig down.
The teen center gets involved with the park. The sound like the sound there, yeah.
Yes.
Probably. I used to volunteer long.
Relocate the sidewalk around.
10, 11 years ago, I was the director there. I appreciate there because I volunteered there as a volunteer.
Why don't we get together again for a couple more minutes, and we'll just tally the votes on that. Get your attention.
It's just the aesthetics design. This is to make it look good. The more that's on, and that's what's on. If you sell that's $5.
No, and now we're trying to get something under it, and the guy didn't.
All right, if we can have your attention, we'll, we have 2 volunteers who are just going to go through, and the items that did get a vote, they'll tell us what the tally was for that, for those particular items. If you want to start, if you do one sheet, then you do another, we'll go back.
Okay, so wait, am I doing the 0 votes or just all the things?
No, just the ones that have a positive.
All right, so secured benches has 1 vote, clean up wood lines with 6, education trail with 2, and landscape plan with 4.
Secured benches? I think that's all the normal benches.
No, they're, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to combine some.
Well, I'm gonna do the biggest number here first. The skate park itself, 25 votes. Improve the playground, 5. Picnic is now 5, picnic area. And the small amphitheater, 4. Interestingly, 1. In the woods out 3. Stairs going up 6. The sliding pole. The drop-off area also goes 6. Remove the chain link fence, only 2 of them. But anyway, 3 for the snow removal at the top of the hill, and another good one, 10 maintain the green space.
All right, ice skating got 8, trash cans with 5, Fitness trail with markers to track progress, got 7. Tetherball has 1. Connectivity of trails has 4. Security cameras has 8. Gazebo has 1. Durable benches has 6. Better lighting has 4. Trees, big, not little, is 5. Markers for the fitness trail has 2, so you can tell some of these are going to be combined. Water fountains has 6. Welcome signage has 7. Maintaining disc golf and more disc golf has 2. Fixed drainage has 2, and walkways has 3.
So we have definitely some overall priorities that we've identified, here. I just want to spend, before we go, just a little bit of time on some big picture items. I'm just going to read some of these off, and I'm just going to ask for a shout out or a yell. Yep, I like that. Or and we'll just get an idea just generally of what the overall consensus is. So anything that strikes your fancy, just say something. Yay, I like that, or whatever on that. So by the opportunities for teaching skating and music.
Yay!
Farmers market, bringing people in.
Move the farmer's market over.
All right. Welcoming feel and inviting feel to the park.
Yes.
Save the sliding hill.
Yes.
That's a definite one. Site improvements.
That's a given.
Were they dirt?
Trail Connect Island Park.
Yes.
And there was another one on connectivity. Two of those trails there. Making sure that the park is aesthetically pleasing and inviting the community.
Yeah, welcome feeling again.
Drop-off parking, I think we talked about that. Invite other teams like rugby, making sure that there's activities.
Yes.
Bill.
Maintain green space, not declutter. Yeah.
You skipped the invite flow community. Invite the flow community. You skipped one.
Oh, invite the flow community. Excuse me.
So we don't want to skip anybody.
Maintain green space, not too clutter.
Yeah, too cluttery.
Shade, places to sit, music, amphitheater, gazebo. Plan for maintenance, anti-graffiti, fund endowment, we spoke about that, that's. Kids, places, equipment to play, playground. Picnic areas, barbecue grills, fire pit, kind of a passive activity.
A lot of these can be combined.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Facilities appropriate, facilitated appropriate graffiti. Oh,
Yeah, graffiti
like a-
wall.
Yeah. What is this? Oh, what is that?
Lots of things to
It's a well-designed skate park, so you can do more things than just skate.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Clean. I get my
4 more weeks. We have to clean in 4 weeks.
Visibility, see what's happening.
Yep. Thin the trees.
Artistic options. Safe, no illegal activities, police presence.
That'd be part of, yeah, monitoring,
Mentoring,
security cameras.
older to younger, etc. Identify Green Street Park signage or a new name. Signage.
Again, the welcome stuff.
And more foot traffic with older people. Options for older adults and activities. Fitness stations.
On trails, yep.
Sleds, equipment, rental, bikes, broom ball. Oh, that gets a plus. Main General and Hathaway connection. Oasis in the South End. I'm not sure.
Those are just feelings and I.
That's a feeling, somebody wants to have an oasis, like a feeling.
Group activities, walking clubs, involve the hospitals.
All the hospitals involves the Kennebec Trail.
Trails that attract people and residents and businesses. We have that connectivity one. Encourage young people to stay in the area. It would be like overall park kind of attract.
Music for the entire family or music opportunities.
Yes.
Learn to skateboard, lessons for kids, teaching kids how to use the equipment, kind of ties in with mentoring. Volunteer park rangers, get people out there in some manner, shape, or form. It's my park. Build ownership of kids and adults and involve teams. And,
Not only part of the planning process.
Yeah. And what was this?
Which is like,
Oh, reduce, oh, right, the negative stigmas for the park. Yeah, right.
Take back the park. Hashtag.
Parking, traffic calming, particularly for the sled area,
Right,
making
yeah.
sure that that road area.
Push
is
back the
safer.
road, make a parking area, and move the
Open
walking
spaces
thing
for
over.
general activities, kite flying, stargazing.
Keep the green spaces.
Center, green space open,
Right.
water supply needed, fountain or hydrant for ice skating rink, water for drinking, dogs, things like that. Fundraising for many people, small donations. To start, could be any kind of
Build
donation.
something we can go away with,
Soup and sandwich program, a place to eat, summer food program. I have those connections there. Food nearby. There's a, did you say a deli?
There's gonna be a deli reopening, the old South End Cafe.
Landscaping, trees, flowers, garden clubs in Waterville, use arborists to clean out trees and shrubs. We were talking about, making sure that there was a landscape plan and using our resources that are available for the area. And Heather, who's Heather? A concept plan for fundraising and planning, business sponsors with name signs, and naming opportunities. And also, just a segue on that is, developing a plan, advertising it, having some promo material so that you can get out there and sell it, but also to fundraise with it. Is that the gist of what you were saying? On most of these, is there any item here that we have buy-in on all of them? They're not, it's like, apple pie and.
But some of them are crisscrossing over.
Yeah, they
Some of
do,
these can
yeah.
be combined together, you can shorten that list quite a bit.
Well, we purposely, when we were writing those down, we overflowed into both, which is perfectly fine.
Because some of those are just like, what's gonna happen as this builds,
Yeah. One question I have is, after we kind of set priorities, is there anything here you want to rediscuss?
We put a power outlet on the list somewhere. Power outlet.
We have one.
Is there a power outlet?
We got one now,
Yeah.
we needed one for the south end.
Yeah, like in that pole, it's kind of cute because you'll see teens standing there charging their cell phones.
Well, where's my cell
It's on the
phone?
pole.
Oh, it is locked up? I thought it was locked
Where is
up.
it?
It right in the
There should be a
middle of
lock
the
on that.
With a light on it.
Oh, we should also go to the gazebo.
Yeah.
Remember, I'll just put down, remember electrical. How about Wi-Fi? Nobody said that.
I don't think you wanna do Wi-Fi.
You don't want people to be working on their things, all right.
We've got a library for that, and they do well.
All right. No, that went over like a lead balloon.
There's more things going on in the woods than smells.
It's an age
Is there
thing,
anything
though.
else here that surprised you when we voted? Does anyone want to bring something up again, or advocate for it? I only got one vote, and I think there should be more, or something like that before.
I do, that Hooper Scooper station, that's my vote. Because, listen, you can't have green space, and you can't have a rugby team, and you can't have a picnic area if you've got dog poop sitting everywhere.
Free fertilizer.
You need a station, not the actual scooper, but a
Right,
station.
Yeah, no, a station on a pole that has the bags on it.
Yeah, right.
I think they have
Because
over
you
to
can't
North Street.
have
We can do that. So make it up, we'll just do it. We can put one.
Have a shit station.
Because you can't have any of the rest of this stuff. You can't have a picnic area if you've got that everywhere. You can't have a rugby team if you've got that everywhere.
Keep the dogs out.
Yeah, well, no, we need to enforce it a little bit more. I mean, they go, the people from the south end, they go down there, they walk the dogs, and they don't pick up after them. So we do need to get a few bags and find that $150 fine, and then you'll find that whole stop.
I'll tell you what works on that. We've talked, a lot of communities deal with dogs, and there's, you know, you can find people, you can do all that. You know what works extremely well? Every once in a while, have somebody out there, when you see somebody pick up their scoop, go up to them, take their picture, put it in the paper, and give them $10.
Give them that.
It works.
Praise them.
It just works. It's serendipitous. You never know when the Hooper Scooper reporter will be out there, and people comply.
The fine works too, because I've nailed somebody who won't shit in my property, and they don't shit there anymore.
Keep a supply of bags down there.
Yeah. Any other items that anyone wants to advocate for in addition to the Hooper Scooper? Jeff?
I'd just like to say that the improving the top of the hill as a drop-off area and picnic area as a visible space, considering the lack of visibility from Water Street to see the park behind those two buildings, that makes so much sense, and I think it would be a really easy thing, an easy win.
It's an easy win, but it's, how does it get funded?
Yeah.
Because you have to dig up the sidewalk and expand the road a little bit. It'd be the best liable option for giving us more space up there to
Yeah,
park.
we do have someone in line. It's 50-50 right now as to whether it'll happen or not. We will donate in kind labor to do just that, to excavate dirt lot to drop off kids. So that is pretty feasible at this current time.
Send me an email. I have some grant information for you that will cover that.
What kind of time are we looking at? You know, we have to get engineers involved, and probably the state has to go and take surveys and shit.
Well, again, it's just, I think it's a phase. We're here, we don't have a plan yet, we need a plan. That's gonna be part of the plan, then if we wanna prioritize that as a top part of the plan, then we do, we get Public Works involved with our engineers, they know how to
figure that
out. But then there's the funding, we don't have the money to do it, right?
All of those should just volunteer to come up with the first draft of this.
I guess let's.
So is the consensus of this group that the parking at the top of the hill, making that space more accessible, would be one of the top things next to the skate park?
Yeah, I think that came out, yeah. And also, making sure that the signage for the Water Street side is adequate.
Get in from the Water Street side too. So.
And obviously the skate park area, overwhelming.
I know I some people here, and other people I don't, but I am the council for Ward 7, Karen Raincourt Thomas. And I do support this, very much so. But the sell's going to be to the other members of the council.
My counselor supports it, she
Yeah,
don't know it yet.
but we
but I'll
live there
tell her.
7 the climate
It should be replaced.
So a lot of this, I think, is going to have to be funded privately.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You know, and to get Parks and Rec, the Parks and Rec Department involved, it's going to be city money. So we kind of have to.
But we need the Parks and Rec Department involved to back us and say, yes, we agree with this plan.
But we have to also create the budget.
Right.
Like I said, I'm 100% for this. I always have been for skateboard park and anything to bring activity to children down here. But we really have to kind of say, okay, what is realistic and what's not realistic? What can we do to get it going right now? And then just kind of let it take off from there. And I think that we should get more councilors down here to listen to this so that they can see what this will bring to Waterville.
Yeah, because the benefits is going to show that you're bringing in more people.
Exactly. But
you're going to have a #1 rated skate park in the state. So that's going to draw people, or draw competitions
You got my
that draw
vote,
money.
trust me.
You know?
But
all this stuff has to be a positive aspect of this.
Yeah, we have a comment here.
A question, who's going to take the next step to combine these pictures, these big pictures, into like peaceful, fit together, and look at it really nice? You know, that's a rough draft.
Dave, let's come up here. Jackie, let's come up here. Yeah, that's a segue into our last item for discussion is, we have this information. Now
what are you going to do with it?
You're going to take this information back, and I guess the ball's in your court. Matt chime in also, and also.
Sorry?
Where do we go from here? And Heather, why don't you come up here too?
I don't need to.
Yes, you do. You were the one that voiced the idea that you need to put together a plan, and so I think you're going to have to get up here and take some responsibility for that statement.
So essentially, what's going to happen, the next step is We have the data, we're gonna compile it, we're gonna see what's the most popular and what's the most feasible, what's the most logical to put in that park, and then we're gonna create kind of a rough draft presentation, a visual representation of that park. So once we get, you know, all the ideas together in the best way possible, then we'll present it visually to the community and see what their final thoughts are, tweak it as necessary, and then ultimately allow the proper.
Are you gonna put out a final product look, or are you gonna put it out in phases? Show them in phases?
Yeah, it all depends.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, phases is definitely the best way to go, you know, depending on fundraising, who knows what
Right,
we'll
because
get.
people will look at that, so, oh, that's gonna be great, I can't wait to get there, well, this part of the park is gonna be 10 years down the line.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so for example, say we have the park up here, we have 4 different spots, we'll put phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here's the overall layout, essentially.
I think people need to realize that there are phases and how long those phases take, because you might think, wow, I can't wait to sit on a bench next summer, but the bench is in phase 3, it's not in phase 1. Because people want immediate results, like, you know, things are built in phases. Like you want to lay in your bed in your new house, but you don't even have the foundation built, you know. So people need to know that that stuff takes time, and it takes money, and it takes people. And it takes a group of people, not just 3 or 4 people, to make all of this stuff happen. We all have to buy into it, and we all have to sell it, and we all have to, you know, look for sources.
How often does the committee meet?
We meet as necessary, you know, with the latest developments. So for example, after this meeting, we'll meet once, twice, as many times as necessary.
It sounds like you're at the point where we were at the South End Neighborhood Association, we had to start meeting at least once a month, have that announcement out there so that people who want to be part of this group can participate and get their inputs.
Right.
And then you start getting your list, you get it up on the website of who's involved, what companies are involved, what businesses are involved.
Yep, and just as a
Those are
general
great ideas.
announcement.
And even run a fundraiser thing saying this is how much money we've gotten so far.
Yep.
Gotten needed, you know,
We need a
our goal
GoFundMe
is.
page.
Yeah, we do have a
Yeah, but
Kickstarter
they take
for
a
it.
portion of it, I don't know how much.
Yeah, we do have a
Kickstarter, you have to pick your
Kickstarter.
amount, or they won't give you it.
Right,
Right.
right.
GoFundMe, they take a percentage, but you need to keep whatever you raise.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, start a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill has a.
Just 2 questions. Do you need more members, number 1, and number 2, what's your timeline for putting this together?
Yep, so,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if you remember what the deadline for the Rotary money is.
yeah,
Is that
May
really-
1st. Yeah, May
That's
1st is the
what I thought.
deadline that we need to get the grant proposal ready and have a general idea of what it's going to be. So realistically, the whole month of April is crunch time. That's where we're going to compile everything, get that out there. It's going to be pretty quick as far as planning goes, but it will get done and we'll start.
How much money are they offering?
You know?
150,000 at this time.
And is that towards the skate park?
It's towards the overall project.
The
whole
other-
kit and
It's a
caboodle.
grant application.
It's a grant application.
It's competitive.
I'd like to make a comment. You
It's
know,
competitive. Oh, shit.
I work for AT&T.
That's why you definitely gotta get
many
your
years,
numbers.
and this is the way we've always approached a project, a big project like this, and it's refreshing to me to see something like this being done properly. And, you know, get all the information you can, see what you've got, look it over, see what has to be done, and I'm happy to be part of this. Something that's really done well.
Yes.
You're here.
Am I humble?
It is the way to do it, because it was just a small group of us, and then we thought, why are we gonna force our plan on the South End community? What do we know? I live in Farmingdale, I don't even live in Waterville. So it is the right way to do it, and it's gonna take time, and if you don't have everything together for that grant application, still, I would encourage you to submit something, because they're gonna be pouring through them the funding will be available for another 3 years, for one. So if they like your big plan, then you know, you're on your way.
The other thing is I would say we have a cleanup April 25th. If we had some flyers or door hangers, we could give them out to the people and let them know what's going on in the neighborhood. To have buy-in from the neighborhood as well, as we're doing it, so we could like hit 2 birds with 1 stone.
Great idea.
Yeah,
So
but we also
then-
need more volunteers in order to get these flyers out.
Yeah.
Because our COVID volunteers are here to clean. And we don't want to take up their time
Yeah,
to
door
go
hang.
door
And as
hang.
a general announcement, we have a volunteer sign-up sheet right on the back table, so if you're interested, put down your information. And go from there.
My first question would be to everybody that's here is, are you interested in being a member of, listed on their website as being a member of Green Street Friends? If you are, then just take the sign-in list and put them all in.
Is anyone opposed to being opposed? Yeah, Jim, do you have a comment?
I had a question.
Yes. So is it, I guess, is anyone opposed to being listed as a member of Friends of Green Street Park?
Well, I just have a question of why we want to list all of the members publicly on the website instead of having like, here's like our board of community members, here are like the.
Well, you don't have to list
10
everybody
people
member,
that
but
we
you want,
selected.
the more
Yeah.
members they've got listed as themselves on the committee or whatever, the more power they have for the grant.
You don't list them on the website, you list them on the.
On the grant, the
Yeah,
more
okay.
more
Oh,
names
okay,
you got,
my
the
big
better
thing,
off you
yeah.
are.
Yeah. Like, it's just, I don't want to go look at a website and just be like, oh, here's this long list of names. Like, that just seems very counter.
Right, and
No,
Yeah.
but you could
Well,
put a
not
thing on there that
grassroots,
says we
but
have
like-
this many members.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Well,
think
people
that'd be
will call
better.
you, people will call you and they'll say, you know, what's this all about?
What's this all about? And then you
want
can
people to
spread the
get the
word.
correct information.
All right.
So just to be clear, everyone's cool with us listing you all with a grant as members of Green Street Park?
Did everybody sign up?
Right. this is
If
the
you haven't
public
signed
meeting
it,
and
if
you
you
need
did sign
them.
it, sign it.
And the next question I have is for the members of the Senate. See, we have a quorum here, are we back
Are we back?
as an organization?
Yes. Show of hands?
I have.
A show of
we have-
hands.
So Senate will back them.
Wonderful.
Senate supporters.
Yeah, Senate supporters.
I have, as a resident in the area and a user of the park, I'd really like to have a bench to sit on, and I don't want to have to wait 5 years to get it, and I'd be willing to help pay for it. Is there a vehicle in the meantime for that to happen?
Yeah, essentially, so what, we're gonna put the most precedented items first, some of the more sensible items. So a bench in a park where there are currently are no benches
Would be a positive thing.
Yeah, would be
Yeah.
early on, at least
That'd be a phase one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I find out who to give my money to?
You call us, you have to call us.
But you know, it's a city park, so we have to come, yeah.
But Jack, do you get the high school shop classes to build maybe some benches? Or from the junior high school, then they went to junior high, so they buy the high school, they build benches all the time in shop. And that would get the kids involved in a park.
And their acknowledgement of what's going on too. Oh, we built a bench in the park, wait, what else is going on in the park?
Exactly. So that'd be a nice way to involve the school with the kids.
Yeah, and I mean,
And that'd be a
you're
fast
gonna
way to get a bench
defend,
down there.
and you're gonna defend your bench from getting in the library for like, I built that.
I built that bench. They're taking ownership of something now.
Bill, you got a question?
Yeah, just a comment. Some organizations do is they put together a wish list of affordable items,
Yep.
and they just put it out there, and, they put a bench and put a suggested price, and people want to donate, target that.
Oh, no, okay, like.
That's a good idea,
Her
reasonable.
question was, where does the
And it's
money
not
go?
like
Does it go to
tens of
Green
thousands
Street
of
Friends?
dollars. $100.
Or does it go to the city through Green Street?
We have a skate park account
Oh, okay.
already set up at City Hall, so that we just go into that, Dave's familiar with it.
Is that where the Kickstarter money goes to?
Yes.
And that's slated so that, our, what's his name, can't take it.
Designated for that.
No.
At this time, it wouldn't be a tax deductible donation though, right? If it's going to the city?
Oh, yeah, it would.
Oh, it
We're
would.
all 501, yeah.
So I just.
Right,
wanted
so
to
tax
clear-
deductible donations.
I just wanted to clear something up in the paper that the other day, I guess it said that I personally am going to donate $1,000 for water fountain.
She's donating $5,000.
So it's Inland Hospital that has committed to purchasing a water fountain initially, so.
Yeah, and that was
again,
one
we're
mistake.
dedicated, and, we want to be involved, and so.
And all the underground piping.
$1,000, that's what we've committed. At this time, and we're very interested to learn more, about the opportunities, but anyway, let's clear that up. More people will be knocking on my door here.
And yes, and to answer, I think Bill's question is, Friends of the Green Street Park park absolutely needs members. So, you know, if not you, then maybe there's somebody that comes to mind who this whole time you're thinking, man, I wish they were here tonight. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it. And to encourage them to find out more information from, you know, yourself, from us, and we absolutely need more members. And if this is something you're particularly passionate about, you know, if you're passionate about cleaning up, you know, if you're passionate about to make it a user-friendly space, or you know, improving patrol down there, the trails, or the equipment, the exercise equipment. You know, this is a way to really focus in on something that you're passionate about and get involved, and I think see some hands-on, you know, growth happening at the park. So that's my pitch for yes, we need members. And timeline, I mean, I think that this is gonna get turned around very quickly because of the papers deadline.
Do you have to go for the city before you go for the grant?
Yeah, I think what
Yes.
we'll do on the city side is, as soon as we're able to consolidate all this information, I'll meet with the city manager and find out what the best avenue is for informing the city council. I can't imagine that there'd be any, I know that Karen's a little bit, not hesitant, she's definitely supportive, but in reality, we're making improvements to the park, and we're not proposing to do anything that different than what exists. It's all, you know, the skate park is the center. It would be a bigger skate park, it'd be a better skate park with an improved walking path, maybe some, you know, these items that we discussed, it's not a drastic change. So I think that everyone's gonna be on board and understand that this isn't contingent on city funding. We all know that, right? I mean, that's been the theme all night, that it's gonna come from outside agencies and individuals.
Having some support from the city absolutely is
Of course.
important for proposal.
Who's
Yes.
putting all this on Facebook? That's a good place.
Oh, I took pictures, if anybody doesn't want to be in a picture, let me know and I won't send it. If you want to be in a picture, we'll take specials.
Would it be something that we could bring up to city council next Tuesday, since
Next Tuesday, there's no council meeting.
Oh, there's a council meeting.
No, it'll be the following,
Oh,
because there's 5 weeks.
Quite possibly, I'll let you know. I think it's-
After this one?
And doesn't the city have, the council or something have to vote to accept the new skate park?
Yeah, we would. Yeah, we would.
I think that's.
But we're a long way off from accepting, I mean, we don't really have the plan yet, but maybe we will sooner than later, I don't know. But it's gonna
I
be-
think we need to get city approval to go ahead with the grant and go ahead with the preliminary stuff.
But I think they'll have Jackie come like she did last time and just kind of present a little bit through community notes. It gets into people's heads and people start talking about it instead, like he did last time he came up. So that's a great idea, Jackie. Through community notes to let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep, I can do that. Excellent, thank you all.
Yeah, Jackie, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, thank you all again for coming out on a Tuesday night, and giving us your time and your energy, and most importantly, your ideas and enthusiasm. If you did not get a cookie or a brownie or a blondie or some fruit, please take some. They were made by our fabulous, Chris Mooney here, so.
And the wraps were absolutely.
Yes, thank our vegan
food. Something I
chef.
could eat.
You're very welcome.
And I'd like to thank Bill Napower for facilitating.
It was a great session, we got a lot of good ideas. Two things, there's a lot of work going forward, and that says your report on that. And the other thing I'd like to say is shameless promotion. Don't stop advocating for the park at every opportunity. Whomever you speak to, whether it's Hannaford or down the street or at the pizza place, or at the council meeting in particular, shameless advocacy. Make sure that the city might be doing a lot of other things, and that's great, and we support that, but we support what park?
Green Street Park.
That's what we support. So make sure that the message gets out there loud and strong.
And at church, we
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
I think that's one thing the city knows, is that whether it's the Hathaway or whether it's the end of Water Street, they know that as an organization, Senate supports the whole neighborhood. Not just one particular part of the neighborhood, but the whole neighborhood. And if something goes on in our neighborhood that we're not happy about, they know that as well.
Because you let them know.
That's right. Come to our bike swap, come to our cleanup.
Yes, please grab a calendar of events. Senate has a lot of events coming up, including the bike repair swap.
If you know anybody that has old bikes, we could use them.
Yes. Where do you drop them off?